Releasing an officially licensed Formula 1 game always comes with a certain amount of pressure. There's the need to appease the licensor Liberty Media and uphold the sport's core values, certainly, but more importantly, you must win over an educated and passionate fanbase. Thanks to online media, Netflix shows, and entire TV channels dedicated to F1, those that follow the single-seater circus have greater access than ever before. They've also likely been playing games developed by Codemasters Birmingham Studio since 2010, which in 2020 stepped up the immersion with a My Team mode, allowing you to create your own team and oversee aspects such as car upgrades and driver signings. Then launching your first ever officially licensed Formula 1 game that is also simultaneously your first venture into motorsport is a bold call. Enter F1 Manager 22, the start of a new series by experienced theme park simulator and space exploration developers, my boys, Frontier Developments. That's all the theory. Let's discuss how it works in practice. Before we dive in further, a management game is in many ways more about the off-track administration than it is the on-track racing. This sits alongside any existing PC, console or mobile F1 games, and it's the first dedicated game of this ilk since Electronic Arts' F1 Manager from 2000. You play as the team principal, not the drivers, of one existing real-world team and driver lineup. So it's goodbye to Toto Wolff, hello to you. The aim is to win championships, of course, but before then, make sure the team is developing, progressing along an upward trajectory, and staying solvent. Yes, you'll be able to watch races as they play out, more on that later, but the core competence, and therefore where you'll be spending most of your time, is in menus. This is the sandwich-filling hub, with the slick presentation and racing being the bread. There's one screen at the far left of the user interface that will provide you with snippets of information, or you can tab through dedicated areas for a more detailed analysis. This is where you'll spend countless hours flipping between tabs, scrolling down options, and making big decisions. The direction of a team's car development rests squarely on your shoulders in F1 Manager 22, and it's crucial to success. Before you consider which upgrade path to pursue, you must first learn which performance parameters your current vehicle is a leader in and which area it lags behind the competition. Here, characteristics such as low, medium and high-speed cornering performance are measured in the generated G-force and compared to the grid average or a specific team of your choosing. The same is true with items such as your brakes or dirty air cornering abilities. You can also delve into track-specific performance. Let's say your car is struggling with high-speed corner grip and Silverstone is approaching on the calendar. With this in mind, you can then commission research and development for car parts that may aid your performance at that specific venue. The options are bountiful. You don't simply just select improved car, but specifically front wing, rear wing, side pods or underfloor, and you can see how improvements to each element affect car performance attributes. Selecting an upgrade area may also impact others, such as enhancing drag reduction but reducing engine cooling. Similarly, it could take away engineering resources from other projects. It's an added dash of authenticity that matches the real world. You get updates about specific parts from the real team members, not just some random generated name. This is more granular for comparison's sake than the F1 2021 game's My Team managerial mode. With F1 Manager 22 being a dedicated manager title first and foremost, you would expect a deeper dive, but nevertheless, seeing such detailed information is impressive. However, your team's ability to implement successful upgrades also relies on the facilities it has at its disposal. You can't make a powerful power unit with only a set of spanners and sockets. It seems as if the core gameplay loop is balancing resources. Nowhere is that truer than budgeting for long-term facility upgrades. Do you spend cash on short-term car upgrades or wait for a new wind tunnel to be built and sacrifice a whole season? The board will ultimately decide if your team management, car and facility upgrade programs and on-track performance are up to scratch. They provide you with the budget to work with and a series of goals. Don't hit your targets and you're heading to your local job center. This includes real-world F1 rules considerations such as the cost cap and aerodynamic testing restrictions based upon the team's performance in the preceding season. Discovering the next generation of talent will be key to your success in F1 Manager 22. Yes, you can work with your selected team's existing drivers and even its real-world reserve, but you could also, in theory, secure the services of Max Verstappen provided you can tempt him away from the comfort of the Horner-Marko bubble. But F1 Manager 22 also allows you to scout out fresh talent. Much like a football management title, first you must send your scout on a reconnaissance mission to find out if a driver is interested and if they have the right ingredients to make a Formula 1 driver. From here, Formula 2 and Formula 3 drivers from the current 2022 season are available. If you think that Jack Doohan can match his father's trophy cabinet but on 4 wheels, or Arthur Leclerc possesses greater prowess than his brother, sign them up as a third driver and allow them to gain experience during practice sessions. An important distinction is that Manager is in the game's title. This isn't really about the on-track action, but surprisingly, there is a level of pizzazz above expectations. The The cars are 3D models, resplendent in their appropriate liveries and helmet designs. They duck and weave down the track, hunting for positions, not as smooth or as naturalistic as an out-and-out driving simulator, it must be said, but with more detail than a typical race management game. Likewise, the real tracks are all present and correct, with Miami set to be included. We were treated to a view of the latest Albert Park layout, but some of the dips in the road were awry at this stage in development. There are several camera angles too, such as TV broadcast style or onboard with each driver. Alternatively, you can increase the speed of the race above 4 times and it will switch to a map view, with coloured dots representing each car. As the race starts, David Croft screams "It's lights out" and away we go, plus 11-time Grand Prix participant Karun Chandhok will add in post-race analysis. This is added to by the use of real-world radio messages chopped up from previous seasons. If you're managing Ferrari, for example, and tell Charles Leclerc to step up his pace a bit, his real engineer will come up across the radio and say "Mode push, mode push." This brought a smile to my face, an extra flourish that will hopefully delight fans, provided it doesn't get too repetitive. During a race, however, you must not get too carried away by listening out for recognisable radio calls. There are 5 levels of pace you can instruct either of your drivers to perform at, always mindful of tyre usage and their proximity to rivals. Fuel conservation and ERS modes can also be tweaked on the fly as you hop back and forth between your 2 entrants. Weather will change, so the possibility of mid-race unscheduled pit stops is very real, as are mistakes from other drivers that can cause safety cars. Pre-race, you can check factual historical data for the percentage chance of a race interruption. Even when it comes to the main events, you can alter specific stint lengths in the strategy options and include pace targets. We spent an hour looking at an early build of F1 Manager 22 with executive producer Adam Woods and game director Andy Fletcher, and it felt like we were only scratching the surface. Without hands-on gameplay, it's hard to say if this new entrant in the racing simulation genre will take on the likes of Motorsport Manager or IGP Manager, but at first glance, the fundamentals are in place to create another essential F1 gaming purchase. So that's our quick look at F1 Manager 22 by Frontier. Are you excited for this game? I know I am. It's Frontier. Of course I am. If you are, let me know in the comment section below. Whatever your racing discipline, please do subscribe to the Traxion channel if you haven't already, and you can check out TraxionGG for even more content. But that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching. Keep it pinned, and I'll see you next time.